Hello, dear listeners. We want to continue today our famous series about Mormon LDS, the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, leaders, prophets, church presidents, counselors, etc., etc., etc. Let's go into the folder that I've prepared and before we actually go into the comparisons, let us meditate on this beautiful picture for a couple of seconds. Thank you very much, that was enough. Now let's go to more comparisons. I've told you already who Thomas Monson is, Alan Shepard, Heber J. Grant, as well as many other pioneers of the Mormon Church. But now let's look at some more. James E. Faust, another general authority of the church. You see I have some more individual pictures in my folders respectively. And let's see who he is. Let's look at the pictures. And who is James E. Faust? Here we can see him as he often appears in the pulpit of the gigantic auditorium in Utah, just above Temple Square. And we can already see the ears are very close. We can see here the outer rim, then the antitragus here. Everything reminds a lot. And it continues with a skull. You always have to take a skull picture. And we see it's the same skull. And also the other features are identical. Now one of these persons is a German writer, the other is his identity as a Mormon leader. The Mormon leaders do wear a lot of makeup, they always have impeccable dress, and they speak with very they carefully pick their words, because you know how Mormons talk. You're not supposed to say shit, you're not supposed to say that, not supposed to say this and that. You're very careful how you speak. So but that's just the character they portray. They are master actors. And so when he is this poet, this German writer, and all of these people are producing writings till they die. I mean, they are performers. They have such a big output. They are writing books to a very old age. They produce so much stuff. And so when you interview this man here on German television, he will talk completely differently than James Faust, but it's the same person. Martin Walser, the German writer, is James E. Faust. The age makes sense, only 10 years difference. The biography is completely made up in both cases. What their real names are, we don't even know most of the time. Greenberg, Wohl, Schiff, Kahn, Kaplan, I don't know. Something in that price range probably. And you will see the wives are also the same. And that's where you end up when you try to expose them. As happened to me in spring 2006. 3 months in county jail for trying to contact one of my friends, making the mistake of proposing to her. I thought she was the love of my life. Did not know that Mormons only marry Mormons, that they have to marry in temple, and that they are very protective, for the reason that Mormons believe in eternal families. Mormons believe that after death their families will reunite, and this is very important to them, and that's why Mormon girls are so hard for non-Mormon men to wed and to pursue. And let's continue with Walser and Faust. We can see the mouth the same, the chin the same, the eye the same, the hairline the same, everything the same. The eye, it's the same person. And here we have his faithful wife, here Elder Faust and his wife. And here she's the same wife as Martin Walser's wife. You can see here, same person again. Always double check the spouse and the signature and the ear when you're not sure. Also the voice often is a very good marker on YouTube. Very easy to do since YouTube is proliferating. And here we see the writing of Walser and Faust. And again the frontal, same person, same wife, same hairstyle. These people don't really change much about their appearance. Sometimes they do, but in most cases they only change the name slightly, they change the dress slightly, they change the beard slightly, and put on slightly different glasses, and just talk slightly different, and that's all it takes to hoodwink us, to not see who they are. But Ruth Wright is the same as Katharina Neuner-Jehle, wife of Martin Walser and wife of Elder Faust from the LDS Church. Let's go to another folder. Right here, David Mackay, this is a bigger one. Another general authority of the Mormon Church, David Mackay. Now in this case, it was very hard because I had three guys who were similar. I had the famous missionary Albert Schweitzer, then I had David Mackay, the general authority of the Mormon Church, and I had Ernst Barlach, a German sculptor supposedly killed by the Nazis. And I didn't know were they brothers or which one was which one. I didn't know, so I had to look at the wives. And then I realized Marga Burmer, the associate from Barlach, looked pretty similar to Emma Ray. And Marga Burmer, girlfriend of Ernst Barlach, looked very similar to Sister Mackay, the wife of Elder David Mackay from the Mormon Church. And Schweitzer's wife, the wife of Albert Schweitzer, called Helene Breslau-Schweitzer, she looks very different. Everything very different. The nose especially, you can see very long nose here and more stubby nose. So these, and also see the glance of the eyes, they're different. I don't think this is the same woman. I don't think so. They might be sisters. You don't know. These people often marry close relatives. It's not uncommon. And so that's why I believe. I first thought that Albert Schweitzer was identical with this guy, but then because you see the nose is so different, it's so similar. The nose is similar, but then I thought, okay, because of the wives, it must be the brother. And this is German sculptor Ernst Barlach. This is Albert Schweitzer, famous missionary. Many similarities, but the nose you see completely different here. Schweitzer nose and Barlach nose. And then also the ear. He has a very Jewish ear, very hanging ear, and Schweitzer does not have that same ear. Again here, from Barlach you see the hanging ear here. So this guy here was the ideal character as a persecuted Jew, because of he has a very Jewish feature, very small man, very hanging ear and sad eyes, etc., etc. So he would make a great bait. And again, the similarities of Schweitzer, who had his famous mission base in Lambarene in Africa. And all these famous missionaries are Masons. Everyone from Billy Graham to Lauren Cunningham to the ancient church fathers in ancient days. All famous people under heaven are Luciferians. It doesn't matter if they are acting inside of Christianity or if they are a Merovingian warlord. It doesn't matter. They're all Masons. And Albert Schweitzer and David Livingston and everyone else is included in here. And this is Ernst Barlach. He has some beautiful sculptures. You have to look at them. These are beautiful, beautiful sculptures that he's making, really. A very holy, a saintly man, a great soul, but a very small man, like many Jews. This is another Barlach sculpture. Here you can see the devotion of these people. And this is Albert Schweitzer in Gabon, in Lambarene. You can even see on YouTube videos of Albert Schweitzer playing his piano, etc. And you see, for these people, everything was prepared. Like, they had their piano and their entire entourage put on a huge ship, and the ship would ship down to Africa, and everything was set up for them. They would stomp out an entire village from out of the dust, and so they could become the famous missionary Albert Schweitzer. Um, so that's part of who these people are. Whatever they do in life, everything gets prepared for them. You see this the same ear. These must be brothers. And again, Barlach and Schweitzer here, the ears. And I think this is the same guy, because he also has a strange ear to him. David McKay, LDS Church, and Ernst Barlach. This again is Barlach and Schweitzer. The nose here more similar. And but Schweitzer was a taller man, a bit more Ashkenazi, and Barlach a little more a smaller man, a frail man. I think this picture we've seen already. Now let's go to the other folder. Let me see. Okay. Now all these people always have famous offspring. Like you have here Annette Schavan, German minister in German government, and you see, lo and behold, exactly same year as Rena Schweitzer Miller, famous wife of Albert Schweitzer, who must have had many other altars, because he was a high-level Mason, and all these people have many altars. And so I say that's the granddaughter, because it kind of fits from the age gap. And you see a fossa in the ear, that's a lower fossa on the lower lobe, that's reaching down so far, like in here in this case, is very rare. You can see right here, reaching down very far, and here also reaching down very far. Then the lobe so similar. I mean, this is definitely the same bloodline. You can see that. Okay, let's look at the second one. And here you have the dates, 1912, 1919 and 1955. So I say it's a granddaughter, because both dates might not be completely accurate, but if it's the mother or not, I don't know. I say granddaughter in this case might make sense. And all of the biographies are made up. They are simply made up. They are not real. They're not like your biography or mine. Let's look at the last folder. David McKay and Ernst Barlach. Ears, very similar. Probably the brother. David McKay, Albert Schweitzer. And one more. We can see it's a different nose. You can see the nose here, and the Schweitzer's nose is different. It's more Ashkenazi nose, stronger face, and here a bit of a boxer nose for David McKay. So these might be the same. And Lambarene, where Schweitzer's hospital was, in Gabon, today's Gabon. And all these men have founded all the famous cities in Africa today. Even in Malawi, where I was 10 years ago, in Lilongwe, all these cities have been founded by Masons, by David Livingstone and all these other people. So here we see the same skull. And the ears again. Look at the inner ear. Very similar. Here the noses, Barlach and McKay. Barlach might have some putty actually, I don't know. But I say these guys are the same, and this is the brother. That's what I say. And here we have the signature, Barlach and David McKay. So you don't have to listen to all these videos if you don't want to. You can go straight to my blog, go to the search window, and type in a name and see what it spits you out, and then you have all the pictures that you want in one click away. But I say that's the same signature and the same doodle. So I say these are the same man. Let's go to some more. Um, Heinz Rühmann, the German actor who was also the same as Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, the French writer who wrote The Little Prince, very famous children's book. Wait, and here we have another Mormon authority, Elder Robert Hales of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, as of 2008. Also an aviator like his dad. Remember, Exupéry was writing Night Flight, and he was writing The Little Prince, and these were the glory days of aviation, where aviation was, before later the space age came, was really a frontier where you, also with the Lindbergh clan and Amelia Earhart, that was the glory days of aviation, where it was something special. And of course, these people all wanted to be aviators, and um, so he was an Air Force pilot. And the father here, Rühmann and Exupéry, was flying a propeller, and he was flying the first jets. Um, these early jets, they were not as amazing as today's jets, but they were still pretty cool. And here you have the father, Rühmann and Exupéry, and you have the son, Robert Hales, another Mormon church authority. Perfect 30-year gap. You can see it in the face, it's obvious. See this here, the round bow here, round, round, then the sack here, just slightly, the same almond shape, and then the same smirk here, and here, and also the ear. That's father and son. Okay, now one more. Yuri Gagarin, another aviator, another astronaut, and I first was on the brink, whether he was John Glenn or not, the American. So we see that Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space, and but it's obvious after a while. You can see that the space program is always fomented by the same people, so it don't matter whether they start from Kourou with a French name, or from Russia or Siberia with a Russian name, from Baikonur, or whether they start from Florida with an American name. It does not matter, because they're so similar. Here, this is the only one of the only times on my blog where I was using really strong language. I can't remember why I did it, but I was, these people kicked me out of Utah. These people are the reason why I have been, it's like expulsion from paradise. These people won't let me into their playground, because their fraud can only work as long as people don't get wind of it. And it makes me really angry, especially now. I mean, we know for years that their whole scriptures are a heresy, but there's nothing we can do about it. They're just so strong. But now with finding all of these characters, it's really a different thing. You can see the mouth is the same here, chin the same, nose the same, eye the same. This is a picture from the 30s probably, or 40s, and this is today, the same man. All these men grow very old, and yeah, Dallin Oaks from the Mormon Church is Yuri Gagarin, believe it or not. Alexeyevich Gagarin, born 1934. This might be the brother, the astronaut John Glenn, 1921. And this is, again, Yuri Gagarin, same man as Dallin Oaks, 1932. All biographies are a lie, and these people breathe power with every breath they take. And we can see the skull is the same, nose the same, chin the same, mouth the same. And this is my deportation date. Actually, I was deported in May 2006, so I have been out of Utah now for a long time, 2,700 days about, and every day hurts like hell, every single day that I can't be in Utah. And again we have Gagarin and Oaks with the noses and the eyes, and it's easy to see that's the same guy. One more profile at 90 degrees, same skull, exactly the same skull. Russian altar, American altar, just learning a different language, putting on slightly different dress, and there you go. People won't see it when you're under the spell of masonry. I say that's the brother, John Glenn, and I say these two are identical, Dallin Oaks and Yuri Gagarin. And the noses are different. Dallin Oaks is a small man and has a stubby nose, like a boxer. And John Glenn, similar mouth, but the nose is bigger. I don't know what to make of it. So they might be identical, but I think they're brothers. Again, you have here, you see the ears. He has a glued lobe. But in most cases, when they glue the lobe, it's fake. But in some cases, it's not. But we can see here the inner ear here. He has a strong protrusion here, and we can see no protrusion. So I say they're brothers, probably. And the ears are the same. Dallin Oaks is Yuri Gagarin. And that's the same skull. And that's the same ear. And that's the brother, John Glenn, American astronaut. A bit older, 10 years older, and he is like 10 years younger. That's why I said they're not identical. Different ear and different age. But similar skull for both men. And here's some frontals. Dallin Oaks and Yuri Gagarin. The eyes identical. The ears identical. Both small men. And the wife's identical. Gagarin's wife and Dallin Oaks' wife. Same facial features and same hair. And here you can see it even better. And that's the temple. The whole city outlined in square checkerboard fashion with city blocks, and temple the focal center of this whole thing. That means you're walking on their checkerboard when you are preaching in Salt Lake, and yet they don't want you on it. They can simply frame you. They can bring up everything they want. I mean, they own the cops, the courts, everything. If they want you gone, they just ship you out. It's that easy. Okay, here the ears again the same. And this was the Vostok capsule of Gagarin, the first man in space. And the capsule, how it landed. We don't know. There's a lot of fakery going on with the whole space program. That's the signatures here. And the strange thing is, the signature-wise, Gagarin is different. But these kind of match up, so I don't know. It's really strange. But here the eyes are very similar for Dallin Oaks and Yuri. Okay, that was that one, and I have to hurry and hurry and hurry and hurry because I have more. Let's take this one here. I have to be careful what I'm putting in the video or not, because this is a very personal one. I lived inside the house of this man while I was in Utah. We became friends, and he has a big library. It was really amazing that I could live in this library, and he was a very loyal friend, gave me many privileges, but I did not know at the time how powerful this man really was. And this is John Heinemann here, my former friend, who now does not want to talk to me anymore, does not want to help me return to Utah. And this is André Gide, a French writer, and we can see already the skull is very similar. Both also heavy glasses, and the ears also match up. These people are very smart. I suspect they are great Luciferians, both of them. Heinemann is a very famous writer on herbal medicine and fruits and herbs and that sort of stuff. And this is Henry Eyring, general, one of the leaders of the church, and he is thinner and has a different voice, but I think he might be brother of John Heinemann, of course using a different name. And yeah, this man has an incredible presence. He's very demanding. He can be very fatherly, very caring, but there's also moments where you really think, what is going on here? And I think he is the son of Andre Gide. And also when you look at, there's a bunch of more persons that remind me very much of him. You can see the chin is very similar and the ear also very similar. So this guy probably has many more identities. And let me see. This is John Heinemann, the nutritionist, and this is Henry B. Eyring, the LDS bigwig. I say they're brothers because he's far skinnier, completely different voice, but so many similarities. That's why I say they're brothers. Then here again we have the ears. Just look at the ears, how similar they are. This is Henry Eyring, this is John Heinemann. And I was sad to hear that he moved his library. You won't believe where he moved it into. He moved it into the St. Mark's Hospital. It's somewhere further south in the city. But you also might remember my name is also Mark. And I also was kind of a saint when I lived in Salt Lake. So it's really crazy, all the coincidences all the many coincidences in life. Sometimes it makes you really shake your head in disbelief. But these ears are same bloodline. Andre Gide. And one more thing that you will realize, that Andre Gide was a confessing homosexual. He was hanging out with very wild people of his age, like bohemians, writers, poets, like what was this famous guy called? Very famous from Encyclopedia. They constantly make jokes about him. I gotta check that. He is like I just can't think about the name. I have to check it online. Let me see. It will take a bunch of seconds. By the way, I also contributed to Encyclopedia. A whole lot of stuff. You can just go to any random page, and you will find a quote. But this is the wrong encyclopedia because it's the German one. I wanted the real one. I wanted the English one. Now, why is this not working? Oscar Wilde. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Forget about Encyclopedia. I was talking about Oscar Wilde. So Andre Gide and Oscar Wilde were both homosexuals. And I always thought in the first place, why would a guy invite me to live in his library? You know, was he having ulterior motives or was he not having ulterior motives? Because I was at that time a very young, handsome guy, very tall, very handsome, you know, and I was thinking, what does this guy want from me? And so I never, of course, he said I was making stuff up, but I was never really exactly sure. So now finding that Andre Gide had openly homosexual attitudes and lovers, like many Satanists. I mean, Satan is inversing everything. He is inversing everything, the natural order. So yeah, I'm not so terribly sure, but I tell you something. It doesn't matter to me, you know, whether he is a closet homo or not. I know him as a very loyal person, as a great friend who is still not married and in his old age. I don't know. He might have under one of his different identities. He might have a wife actually, but really cheeky guy, very lively, very quick-witted, very smart, very well-read, and a great friend and helper. Really, he pulled out both his legs. One time I was calling him at 2 in the night. I had no place to run. He would get up in the middle of the night and try to get me a bed. This guy has done so much for me, and it's really it's yeah. I'd like to meet with this guy and talk to him. And this is his famous book, Heinemann's Healing Encyclopedia of Healing Juices. He also wrote a book about Joseph Smith and herbal medicine. Then here again we have Andre Gide and Heidemann. I think that was enough for now. Um, but yeah, there's some more people that might be in from this same family, like Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle, the famous French general, for example, and others. But I think this video we can close now, and I can make some more videos. In the next video, I will probably show how I'm making my comparisons and how I wrote my blog and how everything works. But this video is coming to an end. Okay, that was it.